Hello, I'm McInnes, and today I'm going to find out all about life sciences. Come on, let's go. Life sciences are the part of science that looks at all kinds of living things, or organisms as they are usually called by scientists. That means that anything that involves studying plants, animals, or anything that can reproduce itself is a life science. We don't have time to find out about all the possibilities, so I decided to look at two that are based here in the Highlands and Islands. First up, I went to see LifeScan Scotland, who are based in Inverness and produce kits to test people for diabetes. Diabetes is where someone's blood has too much glucose, which is a type of sugar. It can be very dangerous, but because of the research that has been done, people who have diabetes now have a way to manage the level of glucose in their blood.
Basic strips is a small thing, it's about an inch long or so depending on the brand, and they're used by diabetics on a daily basis, sometimes up to 8 times a day, just to test their blood sugar and see where that level is sat at, so that they can control it and keep their blood level within a set range, and this helps prevent any sort of complications associated with diabetes, which can be quite severe. Inevitably, if you really don't control it, it can lead to death.
I get to use a lot of different types of equipment, so we have robotics on site, microscopes, lots of different production lines, so I get to be involved in all that.
I work alongside teams of maintenance engineers down on the factory floor, so we help with the maintenance of the machines and help to keep production running, and we also work with teams of line-side engineers with bigger projects.
I wanted to find out more about other life sciences going on in the Highlands and Islands, so I took a trip to a research centre near Oban on the west coast of Argyll to find out all about algae. Algae are organisms that live in water and can often produce oxygen by harvesting light from the sun. If you've heard of photosynthesis, that's the scientific name.
I got interested in algae because there are so many different uses that you can get from it, and it's also a really important organism worldwide, so you can use it to remove nutrients from water systems that are quite polluting. And there's also research being done on using algae to produce antibiotics. Algae actually produce around 50% of the world's oxygen, and trees produce the other half. You can also select certain microalgae species that have very high protein content, and you can also alter the nutrients that you feed the algae to boost their protein content. Algae can be used to help combat climate change. They absorb carbon dioxide, which is great, so if you're growing it on a large scale, you can actually filter carbon dioxide into your systems, which boosts the algae growth and also absorbs the carbon dioxide and locks it in. Using algae as a food source is a way to combat climate change, because if you fed it to livestock such as cattle, you can actually reduce the methane emissions from the cattle, and you can also reduce the amount of soy going into cattle feed, which is causing massive deforestation. Algae can also be used as a supplement in human food, so you can add it into different food sources, and as it has such a high protein content, this can help reduce the amount of beef products people are consuming.
Well, I found out all sorts of stuff about life sciences today. It's great to know that the work and research that's being done in Scotland is benefiting the environment and people all over the planet. The thing to remember is that as the umbrella of life science covers such a large variety of disciplines, there are career opportunities available for anyone who is interested.